when they remove daily lucky drop, they move it to the center of the screen. Yeah, that's the one that we don't call it here. Like normally you would see it here where it says lucky drops claimed and all gold claim, and like you would have like these 4 icons of pretty much instead of 4 chests, you would have 4 lucky drops. Yeah, they did this also added that you can get cards for winning 10 matches, which I understand. Yeah, not here, but in the battle mode. Yeah, not even a month, and they removed that and left us with just the 4 lucky drops. So also that was removed. Yeah, chests were removed. I think it's a pretty important change. But again, what's happening here on the sideline?
It's 4 a.m. and we're rolling the dice. Matei drops knowledge made of gold and ice. Felix with ads making those coins rise. Jakub designs worlds chasing the sky. We're the 2.5 gamers, the midnight crew. Talking UA adverts and game design too. Matei, Felix, Jakub bringing the insight. We're rocking those vibes till the early daylight. Matei, UA, master eyes on the prize. Tracking data through the cyberspace skies. Felix stacks dollars like a wizard in disguise. Jakub's crafter realms lift us to the highs. 2.5 gamers talking smack. Slow hockey sick, got your back. Ads are beautiful, they light the way. Click it fast, don't delay.
Hello. This is 2.5 Gamers, another solo episode. And yeah, today we're gonna talk about very interesting stuff because we have a 9-year-old game that quadrupled its monthly revenue. And of course, I'm talking about Clash Royale, which is the latest rave these days. Because, as I'll show you on the graph, that's why I'm talking about this. It seems literally outstanding that this is happening now because, as I said, let's say March 2025 revenue for Clash Royale was 16 million, whereas July 2025 revenue is 57 million. So yeah, we really need to talk about it. It took me a lot of time digging through this to understand like how these things are because there's merge tactics being released in Clash Royale recently, and I really wanted to look deep into this. Like, is it really that impactful? Yeah, no. We'll get to this. So that's there. Just to put these numbers into context, like why we really need to talk about this now and like revisit this whole thing, is that, as I said, July revenue around 60 million, which was the best month for Clash Royale since 2017. Yeah, a long time ago. And then if you look at the overall Supercell portfolio, and this is the kicker here, it's actually the biggest grossing game for whole Supercell for last 2 months, for both July and June, as Brawl Stars is basically still declining. I guess it's a little bit stabilized, but yeah, it's not growing like Clash Royale is basically now. So yeah, Supercell does it again. Takes an old game and skyrockets it to the moon. So let's look deeper into this, what happened, what's there, and like what not. So as you know, Clash Royale itself, here we have it, got some pretty major reworks and changes done recently. Like I would say a very big facelift. You looking currently at the screen as I'm showing you, like maybe you're asking like where are the chests? Yeah, so there are no chest timers anymore. And yeah, we'll go one by one on the timeline to maybe try to put this whole graph into context to understand like what are these what are these spikes, what's happening where, and like why is this thing pretty much doing so much more money than it had before. Okay, so before I start, maybe let's go really back somewhere here, like 2018. So what happened there is that 2017 Fortnite comes out. It's the era and the season of battle passes. Everybody wants to have a battle pass, and there's this like very, I think like a famous example. Joking had a great article on this actually back in the day, where Supercell implemented the battle pass both in Clash Royale and Clash of Clans, and it didn't really work well for one of these games, which was Clash Royale. Clash of Clans worked pretty well. There's a great lecture actually on that on YouTube. You can find it by Aino, one of the best product guys there in Supercell, where he talks about how the economy was restructured and like pretty much tailor-made for edition of the Battle Pass, whereas Clash Royale didn't really went this kind of a same process, and it actually hurt their revenue. So because Clash Royale economy is not that deep as in Clash of Clans, just by its nature and just how cards are scaled, how like it's pretty much one progression back there back then in the game, and much fewer cards also, which means a much lower stat depth. So that was there, and then we have this kind of a years of decline, which is yeah somewhere here from 2018, just down, 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 down. There's some spikes here. There are some, if I understand, what was it? Yeah, some interesting events such as the Queen's Gambit chess cooperation or some stuff like that. It's like few of these things. I really want to kind of dig that deep into this bump here. So we leave it for now, even maybe that I'm missing something, but again, for this kind of a situation, it's not that important yet. So what's really important is that why is the revenue started growing here later down the line. Here we are, somewhere here around June 2023. So what happens there? Like why did the baseline here, which was oscillating around like 200k, went to like double the baseline? So what happened as a major feature in June 2023, other than some like rebalances and changes, are evolutions. What are evolutions? So it's a smart way how to recycle content for Clash Royale and pretty much add much more progression, like one more progression vectors. You notice these like shapes around some cards that you see here, especially here in the collection. So what this means that if I go into a card, it has its evolution. So it's an upgraded version of the card. If we take it literally by its stats, we see that the basic musketeer has these things, and if you go to evolution, it has sniper ammo, sniper range, sniper damage, qualitative upgrades of abilities. Great example would be with the knight. So if you go into the knight, you see it's pretty much exactly the same, just with the exception that it has 60% damage reduction, and that's it. This is really hard to make because you're pretty much essentially creating like an upgraded version of a unit. Like think Heroes of Might and Magic 3, like you have elves and then you have grand elves which shoots twice. So basically this process. So they started dishing out these evolutions one by one in some cycles. As I read, they were pretty OP. And of course, you need the new currency in order to upgrade them. So again, more progression depth. So that's there. But this is not the thing like you see like this again. It's great, but increase the baseline, but really wasn't that much there. It's like why is this like to the moon part here? So we go to March 2024, somewhere here. So what happens there is that Supercell in Supercell puts lucky drops into the game. Again, why I have Brawl Stars in this chart to give you idea, like what's happening here, is that there's we are yeah there's Brawl Stars scaling. Sorry, too late. Brawl Stars scaling during this phase. So that was March 2024. And of course, Brawl Stars is using the Star Chess system, which is basically the same system in Clash Royale. It's called Lucky Drops. Is the part where if you go and open the chest, you just click on it multiple times. Here we are, where we are. Yeah, like these things basically. Don't know if I have an animation here. from the team, but somewhere there should be a lucky drop or no. So basically, it's that thing where you click on the chest and there are chances, or like 2 or 3 clicks, which can upgrade its rarity, which is again the power of gacha. And the team just introduces this mechanic here in 2024 March. So that's because Brawl Stars is doing what it is currently. But again, Clash Royale is still not that pumped yet. How these daily drops were implemented was that you would get 2 through daily quests, and that was it. The game still runs on the chest system. So if I go here, we would still be having these chests. We will have season shop, and we'll get to that and some other things there. So it's still kind of the old progression. It's just the initial, like, let's put this from Brawl Stars here. Then we have October 2024, which is on this chart. Maybe let's zoom in. October 2024, somewhere here, where lucky drops were reworked. There were magic items and cosmetics included in those 5-star drops, and they were added to Pass Royale rewards and events, which means they were added to the Battle Pass. And this is the important part. What does it mean if you add cosmetics into the pool of gacha? You make it harder, because instead of getting the good stuff, you now can get pretty much, from progression perspective, worthless cosmetics. So they actually deepen the gacha, because again, more pieces in it that you don't want, which means it's just stronger, more spend depth there is. But still, chests are still in the game. So then comes the major update in March 2025. So where's that? That's right here, right before this rocket ship started to go off. So I'm guessing this is the one, because what happens here is, as is in the video, no more chest timers, no more chests, like no more season shop, and this is even more important, no more season shop, and I'll get to that. So they reworked the progression there, which means that pretty much every kind of progression mechanic that they had there was now obtained, like the sources of the game resources were now obtained through these lucky drops. So what you get here is that there wouldn't be no more chest timers here. You would have these, as you see here, the lucky drops. Yeah, this is how it rolls, and basically click on it a few times. And then afterwards, they would add weekly events with lucky drops. I said these chests are gone, and some more balance changes, yada yada yada. So basically, the whole game was turned into one giant kind of gacha on steroids, which is lucky drops, and all the kind of chest systems, which again were very, very stable resource generations, were taken away. What was also taken away was the season shop, which was a part of the, let's say, free-to-play player progression, as the players call it. It was again some more resources, which the guy said they will spread around, but they didn't really spread them around. So essentially, what's happening here, like you'd say, oh, just like taking out chests make this game to go sky high, and like everything's just, let's just put gacha. Yeah, gacha is super important, and this whole feeling of like, yeah, that's very important. But don't get me wrong, I have the list of like what the guys did throughout the years in order to get there. So removal of chests, clan chest nerf battle pass, because again, as we saw before, they really needed to nerf it because there was just too much value in it. Nerf lucky drops, as they were iterating them, which means adding the cosmetics. That's what I read. So even lucky drops themselves were nerfed. Remove daily streak lucky drop. Remove daily tasks. The lucky drop were given before. Remove season shop. This is, I think, the biggest hurdle for players that are currently struggling with the new update. Remove books from challenges. Nerf overall rewards on challenges. Nerf events into being emote and banner. Emote and banners, again, cosmetics, worthless from progression perspective. Nerf events, remove gem offers and replace them with real money offers. We've seen what this nice change did with Brawl Stars. Supercell was always very, very generous with their economies, and it seems like the same person who rebalanced Brawl Stars finally got their hands on Clash Royale. Nerve masteries, nerve monthly new game mode rewards, promises more live events as before, but we still get the same amount. That's literally what's written there. An uncapped level in clan wars and rank up so you can go against overleveled players most of the time, which means you lose. Forgot to mention, when they remove daily lucky drop, they move it to the center of the screen. Yeah, that's the one that we call it here. Like normally you would see it here where it says lucky drops claimed and all gold claim, and like you would have like these four icons of pretty much instead of fortress you would have four lucky drops. Yeah, they did this also added that you can get cards for winning 10 matches, which I understand. Yeah, not here, but in the battle mode. Yeah, not even a month, and they removed that and left us with just the four lucky drops. So also that was removed. So yeah, chests were removed. I think it's a pretty important change. But again, what's happening here on the sidelines, and like this, I think should be the main idea of this whole podcast of like what are we looking at? They're making their economy much more tighter. Like you get less stuff, so you need to pay for more stuff if you want to be competitive. Simple as that. It worked great for Brawl Stars. It seems it's gonna work great for Clash Royale, and it seems community is just gonna take that. That's how it is basically. Uh, the notion that they introduce a lot of these other gacha-based mechanisms, which means lucky drops, is great. But again, it wouldn't work if the economy would be broken or let's say too generous from that perspective. So in my opinion, it's a great rebalance, even though players are hating so much. I'll show you. For instance, here, no more chess timers. No more chess, no more daily tasks. Best way for progression remains credit card. They're finally killing the game. We had a good run, boys. They're just killing the game with every update. The Clash Royale dev team needs to be fired. Man, no season shop is going to hurt me a lot of as free-to-play player. It was one of the things that allowed me to keep up my levels. And these comments that you saw, each of them have like 3,000 likes. So exactly what I said, like, yeah, it's much more casual and much more expensive to just go there, because who would have thought if you make the game more expensive that you can squeeze out more money out of it, even if it's a 9-year-old game. Yeah, this is happening. So it's very similar to the pretty much stuff that happened with Brawl Stars here. But as Brawl Stars already peaked there, I think this is also temporary. We'll see what happens there. The other important part regarding this, and this was the first question we wanted to answer doing this, the hypothesis, was that merge tactics was added into the game. Merge tactics basically means Clash Mini was integrated into Clash Royale. So how it's done, why it is, and why I think it has literally zero impact on revenue, and it's just a great mold there is with like adding more engagement maybe. But yeah, this really isn't the key part of like why this game is making so much more money than before. It's the economy. So Clash Mini in so we can actually look at it. You have the modes button here now, where you have the game modes. You have the trophy road. That's the main one. That's like typical Clash Royale here. Nothing really to it. Then you have the merge tactics, which is already unlocked from Arena 3 here. And then you have the other events such as the Fire Spirits, King Level 8, Ranked, Classic 2v2. The very important part, how they implemented the merge tactics game, is that it fuels your Pass Royale progression, same as the main Clash Royale core. This is super important. So you can pretty much choose if you will play Clash Royale or merge tactics, and you will still pretty much complete your goal or like the main progression, which is the Pass Royale now. And the units themselves are basically the same. So if we go here, and again, I'll show you how the mode works, we're using exact same units that are in the game basically. So yeah, which one do we choose? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that works perfectly. So it's integrated much better than, let's say, for instance, the auto chess mode in the Hearthstone which is called Battlegrounds, which basically broke the game because people didn't have to buy new cards, as like all the cards were unlocked for them in that mold. So yeah, great job, Supercell team. This is how it should be. So it's now complementing the main game basically, which is great because it's you can just choose. That's on you. Some differences, and some of the people aren't that happy as you would think basically. So what happened is that the game is simplified a lot. This is not Clash Mini. This is a very, very simplified version of Clash Mini. There's no positioning, as you can see. You can move units. You just buy units. Even though there are 4 people instead of 1v1 mode, which makes it a little bit of like a tournament mode. Okay, but yeah, this is definitely not the thing that you would expect from like people that were promised that Clash Mini will live now forever in Clash. No, this is just a watered down version, but it's fun. It's casual. That's like what the game is now aiming for, and I guess they need to sort out their community themselves. So regarding the game itself, as you see, like you go from round to round, you upgrade all these units. There are a shit ton of these modifiers, such as, for instance, this one. Brawlers gain 40% more XP, and of course, each time you're picking some of these guys to can add to your current composition or combo, you should be wary of that and pick based on these, basically, because again, like for instance, this increased the health of my guys by 50%, so I guess we'll demolish this guy. Yeah, so that's there. Works pretty well. I think it's nice casual experience that like adds to the current, if you get bored of the current metagame, or I mean like Clash Royale, the main core, and it's implemented perfectly because again you feed the same progression, so that's there. I guess this will just live on and should be pretty good because that was the main problem with auto chess and like with every other single thing there that we saw. Just give me a second. With auto chess, because auto chess is a great game but cannot monetize. Now finally Clash Royale can monetize, so you put it into Clash Royale and you have 2 games for 1 basically. So that's there. Works pretty well in my opinion. It's basically the same model that League of Legends uses with Teamfight Tactics. Like Teamfight Tactics in the main Western client lives in League of Legends client, so not the Asian one, the Fight for Golden Spatula. That's a different case scenario because it's Asia. But here in the West, like I don't think so any other auto chess game based on that model will make it. So this is a good implementation in my opinion. Yeah, it's shallow, but again, what can you do? I guess that wasn't the best move, but let's see. Yeah, so that's there, and in the meantime, as we play these games, let me just look at the chart where this was added in. So this was June 2025. So if we go into our favorite graph, it's basically here, which was already past this kind of a giant scale when the game's already doing 1.3 million a day. Now it's doing something like 2 million a day baseline, with spikes going all the way up to like 3 million. So yeah, Clash Mini is definitely not the case why this game is revived basically and getting on top of the Supercell's portfolio. Clash Mini, I think, is a great addition to like the current setup and like what's there and everything. But yeah, I wouldn't really put it there. This is the best thing ever. Let me just sort some stuff. Some people on the bench. Go. Yep. So yeah, I think it's great what's happening here. I wasn't really expecting that. People really need to understand why economies work like they work and why being generous means your game will fail because you won't have enough revenue and you won't be able to support UA, yada, 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 yada. Even though people, or especially Supercell, says that they don't have UA. Yes, they have. It's called influencer marketing because they have armies of people on YouTube doing videos for them. So yeah, they have UA. Okay, let me just finish this one match. So that works great, and yeah, I can't wait what happens with the game itself and like where it goes and pretty much how much this spike will ride and how sustainable it will be. It's going to be very interesting that now, after all those years, Clash Royale is going to be the most revenue-making game in Supercell's portfolio. But let's see, and if Supercell can create any super successful new games, maybe they can do this old trick, which already worked 2 times for them, which is revive their old game. So yeah, I'm not expecting Heyday to be next with like spiking to something like 30 million a month, but who knows? Let's see. Anyway, yeah, hope you find this useful, so you don't need to search and like go around the place and like, what's this and why was this update and what's that. I guess I'll do a post about this with a nice graph and timeline of these anyway. But yeah, it's a great example of like fixing economies. It makes your game make money. Fixing an economy will make your game make much more money, basically. Yep, that's it. See you around. If you have any questions, join the Slack channel and feel free to add those there. Yeah.